here the members of the local faculty selection board, the Vice Chancellor for Instruction, Research and Extension for Main Campus, Dr. Cecilia Heronimo, the Vice Chancellor for Student Affairs for Main Campus, Professor Joseph Roy Celestino, the Vice Chancellor for Administration and Finance for Main Campus, Dr. Dali P. Maroma, the Dean of the College of Engineering, Dr. Maria Magdalena B. Gatila, the local FAO President of POE, Engineer Nasha Jimenez, the OIC Department Head for Mechanical Engineering, Engineer Amparo Cecilia Sarmiento. Thank you.
Thank you po.
Good afternoon, Engineer Charlton Inaw.
Good afternoon po, sir.
I cannot hear you. Kindly turn on your
sorry.
audio.
Ay, sorry po. Naka-off pala. Sige po.
Okay.
Good afternoon.
Alright, so how are you today, Engineer Inaw?
I'm fine, sir. Katatapos lang po ng klase kanina.
Okay, you are given a minute, Engineer Inaw, to introduce yourself before the members of the panel. After which, they will ask some questions on you. Okay?
Opo. Sige po.
All right. So, are you ready now?
Yes, sir. So, can I start, sir? Na po? So, I'm Engineer Charlton S. Inaw, mechanical engineer by profession. So, right now, I'm teaching at University of the East Caloocan and Lyceum University of Batangas. And then
Hello po, Sir Christian.
Yes, ma'am.
is it okay?
Hello, ma'am.
Yeah.
Go on, Engineer Charlton.
Sorry, because there's a parallel dialogue. I've heard. So I've been in work for more than 20 years. I started in DOST for 11 years as a research engineer. No? I've been there for like 11 years. And then I'm a senior science research specialist in the Metals Industry Research and Development Center of DOST. So there I was able to have a grant to study abroad in Germany for 1 year and in Japan for 5 months in product development and for robotics and mechatronics, respectively. Then after DOST, I went to the private practice in IBM, Lexmark. We designed printers for for printers, laser printers particularly. And then I stayed there for like 5 years. And then after that, I tried to go abroad for research and instructional work, like a professor in mechanical engineering in Ethiopia, in Africa for 8 years. So after that, I went in 2019. Then I teach in FEU and also in UE and some colleges in Olongapo. But there was this call to have a consultancy work in another African country, the Rwanda, for like a few months, consultancy work in mechatronics and robotics. So I stayed there for 4 months. Then when I came back, I'm teaching now in University of the East Caloocan and Lyceum University of Batangas. I think that's all for my brief introduction.
Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, Engineer Charlton Inaw.
Good afternoon po, ma'am.
You're so busy, no? You're not yet tired?
Katatapos lang po ng kanina ng lecture ng umaga. But yesterday I came from Manila because I have a 1 day face-to-face. We had this face-to-face for laboratory in ME Lab 3. That includes refrigeration. So,
Sir, if ever the university will give you a chance, no, to be in, no, what particular day of the week you will be available?
a particular day. Normally The school is the one giving the schedule. I mean, they're just giving me the
Yes,
schedule,
sir.
and
I asked this question, sir, because you said you are teaching in UE, in Lyceum of the Philippines in Batangas, no, uh, in other higher education institutions, no, and all of those, no, that you mentioned, you are still connected with them.
for now sa dalawa na lang po, sa UE Caloocan and sa Lyceum Batangas. Normally the Lyceum of Batangas is giving me the Saturday,
Mm-hmm.
and then the UE Caloocan is any time of the week po. So I think the issue is kung merong, if given the chance to be admitted, kung may issue is the conflict,
Yeah, yes, sir.
yung conflict
That's
po.
the
So
very reason why I asked you
okay.
what is the time that you may be available if you will be given the chance, no,
Yeah.
to be taken in by the university.
Opo, based on the current loading po. Bali, most of the time I don't have the load during morning. So my answer to that is I think preferably morning po, because most of the loads are given in the afternoon. So morning or
So
evening.
from Monday to Friday, every morning you are available, sir. Is
Uh,
that
uh,
so?
Except eto, sa ngayon po ang ano ko lang, ang meron lang akong load na morning ay Tuesday and Friday po. Mga 9 to 12
So
po.
it means na Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday you are available.
Opo.
Tama po ba, sir?
Opo.
Okay.
Opo, ma'am.
So please take note, Engineer Amparo. Well, I have no question about no your experiences. No, as a matter of fact, no, you have this consultancy. No, you are even a Six Sigma engineer. No, so you have so many experiences. No, in the field particularly. So, in the two higher education institutions you are teaching, may we know what is their platform for the virtual teaching?
Okay, yung platform, yung ginagamit po na ano.
Yes, sir.
The Lyceum Batangas is using the M rooms. I think there's a collaboration between this international provider, M rooms. They have their own because marami silang IT na ano support. But I think the license is from the hindi ko lang po alam yung mother company. But in UE, we are using Canvas po, Canvas.
Okay.
But we are linking also
Are you aware of MS Teams? Have you
Opo,
used it?
opo. Sa Lyceum Batangas, we are using MS Teams.
Okay.
Kasi we are using the third party like Zoom, MS Team, Google Meet. So we can link anywhere of those. But for the grading and other system, for encoding of grades, meron sila talagang specific, may ano sila, mga dinevelop po na na system like yung sa Canvas, mga portals and everything. Pero yung mga platform po, available naman lahat yon. We can choose from the commercially available. I think they have their arrangement with them. Yung Zoom, MS Team, Microsoft Teams, tapos yung Google Meet po.
Okay, sir. If ever again you will be hired by the university as a part-timer, no? So, sir, are you aware of how much you will be receiving per hour?
Sorry, hindi po talaga, honestly.
Okay. So, well, actually, my question anyway, it's the HR who will inform you about it. But my other question is, what do you think will be your major contribution if ever you will be given a chance to teach in Bulacan State University?
Okay, thank you po. Actually, as far as the university function is concerned, there are three major functions of the university in general. Now, the one is instruction or teaching, the other is research, and the other one is community service or community outreach. So it is given that instruction is there. So as a professor, you have to teach. But the other functions that a professor or any teacher could at least contribute is the research. Now, actually, very the universities in the Philippines are not yet in that level of excellence in terms of research. Now, if you will see the ranking, it's only the UP Diliman or De La Salle or Ateneo and other well-founded universities are very well. I mean, they are excelling in research, and that is one thing that I think I can contribute most because I came from very prestigious institutions of research like the OST that is based on research, and I'm from the research in metals industry research development center, and also I was hired in IBM Lexmark Research Development Center. So I have a good background in research, and I think I could share that in your university or the Bulacan State University, not as an academic, no, not just as a basic research, but applied. Because the problem in the university is our researcher is just they teach from the time they graduated, and sometimes they are not exposed to actual field. Now I'm saying in the field of engineering as far as I'm concerned. So not all, but most of the schools that I have been with, their teachers are not immersed in actual engineering situations, and they don't have the actual research capability in terms of technical, because in the OST we are using the standard research procedure, no, given by PSHERD and the DOST as well, and we are using these methods not only from the basic statistical research, but this design of experiments, which is not so much familiar in the universities. The Taguchi methods, the Shanin, and the design of experiments. Also, we are using that in IBM, in Lexmark, when we are designing printers and testing parameters and so on. And I think that that's one lacking in the research, especially in the student side. Now, they are not so good in the foundations of research and research methods, and those methods that are really used in the industry. I think that's one of the contribution that I can offer to Bulacan State University. The other one is in the community extension. The other function of the university is the community outreach. Outreach means you can render your service in other institutions like these technical schools or community which have projects that can utilize. I mean, the community that those community that can utilize the service of Bulacan State in terms of engineering services, maybe pumping or maybe some projects with them or helping the community, the barangays or the mayor. There's a lot of open opportunities and for community outreach, because when I'm connected in Lyceum University of Batangas, and they have very well excellent link between the university and the community. So they are helping the technical schools, they are helping the barangays in many forms, like others are feeding, others are really based on academic, like welding, and we are doing seminars. Last time they invited me to conduct a lecture in robotics and the welding. So it is being facilitated by Lyceum of the Philippines College of Engineering, but our clients are the senior high school, those that are affiliated with TESDA, TVET system, because engineering is more technical. So it is aligned with these skills like welding and other skills that may help these high school students to really equip themselves, especially when they go further, when they move on higher level, like a technical education or engineering. I think those are the two area that I can contribute aside from teaching, which I've been doing since uh, so many years, like 12 or 14 years.
Okay, thank you so much, Engineer Charlton Inaw. So that's all po.
Okay, thank you po, ma.
Okay, so good afternoon to everyone. Good afternoon, Engineer Charlton.
Engineer, adopt.
Wala na sa, parang wala na akong matanong. You've said a lot. So, yung sasagutin ko yung sabi ni Ma'am Cecil kasi you did not ask how much salary you will be receiving as a part-time instructor. So, our part-time rate is 274.75. Tama ba, Ma'am Jocelyn?
Hindi po. 275.48 po.
Ayun naman ko. Kung ano lang, konti.
Konti na lang po.
Yeah, so actually the applicant is a batchmate sa DAVCAT. That's why ang sinuggest ko lang kaya sa kanya is for him to pursue his masters kasi I firmly believe na talagang magiging asset natin siya if ever na maging part siya ng Bulacan State University. So, sabi ko nga sa iyo, you have to finish your MS in order for you to apply for a vacant position in the near future. Especially in the College of Engineering, yan. Kasi si
Okay.
Max talaga ang ganda ng program nila pang level 4 accreditation and I believe na talaga makakatulong ka sa amin.
Kasi, Doc Dolly and Doc Cecilia. Actually, right now, I'm not so much particular with the amount of money that I will receive. I think ang importante sa akin is really to render my expertise and service because I know that I've been in government service. I've been working in the OST for 11 years, so I know the salary grades and the plantillas and everything. So may kanya-kanyang and the salary is a function of yung mga degrees natin, 'di ba? Yung mga na-attain natin and yun nga in the Philippine standard they are basing from the paper kasi. So it's not so much of the experience, it's more of the papers like masteral and doctor. So I don't have any questions but kaya sabi ko nga po, hindi naman ako tumitingin ngayon sa amount. Alam ko naman modest 'yon and then there's a government fixed grade plantilla or salary grades for that. So whatever is due to my qualifications in terms of educational attainment, I think I will gladly accept po. And then yun nga, because I'm going to focus na sa teaching because I don't want to go abroad na eh. I want to be with my family. So I think I'll continue my masteral because naputol po sa UP Diliman when I got so busy with working abroad. So I think my message is the salary for part-timer. I think it's not a question for me po. Whatever is there in the paper, I'll gladly accept po.
Okay, thank you so much, Engineer Charlton.
Good afternoon, Engineer Charlton.
Good afternoon po, sir.
Okay. Ang tanong ko lang po ay ito. Kindly describe yourself as an instructor. Kasi kanina po yung credentials ninyo as a professional, yung narinig namin. But this time around, can you please describe to us how are you as a professor or an instructor in the university?
Oh, thank you po. As an instructor, I think the goal of every instructor, as far as I'm concerned, is to really impart or explain the subject matter in a very simple way. Because engineering by itself is really hard. Of course, there are you can evaluate the courses in engineering, but there are really tough subjects, no? Like the mathematics of calculus, control system engineering, machine design. So as an instructor, my method, my goal is to really impart the knowledge in a very simple way. So I'm using illustrations, I'm using practical illustrations and mga situations in life so that the students can really imagine, can really appreciate because engineering is, I think most of the time it's really boring. It's maybe only if you can appreciate engineering if you are serious to be an engineer. But in general, especially these days that we are bombarded with so much gadgets, no, and especially it's really a challenging time because it's a pandemic and most of the instructions are being being held in online. You don't see your students if they are playing, if they are listening or so, no. So you have to make some kind of methods that will really steer the interest of the student. So how do I do that? So I'm making practical illustrations. I'm doing videos and cameras and instructions to really help the students to grasp in a very simple way these hard subjects. And one thing I think I'm interested in teaching. I love teaching. I want to I want to impart the knowledge. So when you are imparting knowledge, you have to have kind of patience. Dapat pa nagtuturo ka, pasensyosa. Because not all are in this level of A, not all are A students or they are very intelligent, not all. Because we have a mixed students. Some of them are very weak in foundation, some of them are, some kind of not yet focused. So you have to be very patient to impart those knowledge. So, and I think I have that kind of uh, attribute or quality that I'm so patient so that I can teach or impart knowledge. The love of teaching is the first. No, even in the industry when I was in the OST or IBM Lexmark, I've been teaching part time, Saturday or night. So the your heart or my heart is in the teaching, so at least I know how to really deal with the students, no, so that I can produce, no. So if we see the students that is students are um, understanding or grasping our lectures, that's good enough to be happy from the teacher side point of view.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you po.
Hello, good afternoon, Engineer Inang.
Good afternoon po, Ma'am Gatdul.
If I may ask po, how young are you?
Hindi na po yan, matanda. 51 po eh, mag-52 na, 51.
Okay. Kasi may kinalaman yung question ko sa edad.
Opo.
Okay, so how would you handle or how would you react if, let's say, my decision or the department head's decision is in contradictory with what you believe? Considering you are more experienced and should I say matured? Yun, sir.
Okay. Okay. Tapos na po yung question?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, if I understand the question, how would I handle the situation if the decision of my superior or supervisor, immediate supervisor, is not in agreement or in contradictory with my
With what
with
you
my decision?
believe, let's say with what you know, considering Engineer Ampar and I is younger than you.
So sa madaling salita ko, kung hindi po align yung agreement, kung hindi tayo nag-agree sa isang decision, yun po ba ang tanong?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I think we could not expect a unilateral or a homogeneous decision all the time because we have different opinions and so on. So there will be time that maybe if we are discussing something, our opinions may be different. Even sa mga kahit sa couple or sa friends, even sa mag-asawa, hindi naman lahat aligned dyan, no? But my take on that is first and foremost, I have to say what I believe. Now I have to express what I believe based on merits, now based on supported by factual data. So I'm this is my decision because of this and this. So I have to explain to my superiors. In my case, maybe you or the other. So I have to explain my side. And then if it happens that your decision is really not in agreement or not aligned with mine, I think the best way is to really respect the authority, the position, because you are placed there now for a reason. I mean, based on merits and so on. It doesn't mean that I have experience or I'm older than you by age. Doesn't mean that what I'm thinking or my decision are always right. I what I'm saying, my point is, not all things are settled by age, in terms of for example, if I'm older, should I be the one to become a dominant person? No. Or I mean, even if you are older or even if you are younger, what is important is your decision is sound and based on the facts. Now, if I have facts that support me and still my superiors are having different decisions, I think my take on that is I have to respect their decision because they are my superiors. But I I already expressed my side based on the reasonings I have. But still, the hierarchy, the position, I'm trying to honor because you are there. That's your decision, and you are also responsible for the next superior you are reporting to. So I think we have to follow a certain system of hierarchy. So I think there's no problem for me if you have your decisions and if there's a difference, as long as I can express mine. But the last decision should be from the authority higher than mine. So I think that's my take on that. Did I answer your question, ma'am?
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Thank you po.
Sir Nash po.
Hello, good afternoon, Engineer Charlton.
Good afternoon po.
Okay, so you have a vast experience, no? And hindi naman po gaanong concern yung sa salary sa ngayon. But if given a chance na you'll be hired in BSU, and I think this semester meron na tayong pilot face-to-face, tulad ng nabanggit rin kanina, and probably on the first semester, nakalalamang yan lahat halos magpe-face-to-face na. How will you handle teaching in, say, Lyceum in Batangas, UE in Manila, and Bulacan State University na face-to-face? Ano po magiging priority niyo kung sakali? Thank you.
Okay. Actually po, right now I'm having face-to-face every Wednesday because of the laboratory. There's this CHED memorandum that for those laboratory subjects, the professor should at least render 50% of the time. So in laboratory, every Wednesday po pumupunta ako sa UE. So I'm traveling back and forth. Now, in the coming semesters, for example, magkaroon po ng face-to-face, I think I have to prioritize those universities that are near to my hometown. Right? Because right now, I'm living in Olongapo. I'm here talaga. Dito po ako pinanganak. So, ibig sabihin po, I would prioritize either Bulacan or UE po. Kasi I don't have although they are offering me some position in Lyceum, I think I don't see myself accepting kasi napakalayo po. Kasi malalayo rin ako sa family, sa mga anak ko. So I think the Caloocan is much more manageable, and Bulacan kasi from Olongapo to San Fernando to Bulacan. And if ever na sunod-sunod naman yung klase, I can stay there naman po. And then siguro weekend or kung walang klase, that's the time na I'll go back because meron naman pong maraming mga transport services from Bulacan using Victory and others. So I think manageable naman po yun.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Okay, good afternoon po, Engineer Charlton.
Good
Yes.
afternoon.
Yes po. Siguro ang question ko lang po, since you are currently teaching po with the other universities, may I ask kung ano-ano po yung mga subjects that you are currently handling po?
Sa ngayon po, ang hinahawakan ko ay yung bali 5, no, yung meron pong mga engineering subjects na nasa ME, yung thermodynamics, tapos heat transfer, refrigeration, yung mga laboratory, vibration engineering, yun po, air conditioning, yung mga major, tsaka yung mga foundations po na subject.
Okay, sir. Kaya ko lang po siya sige, sir, continue po.
Sa iba kasi, for example, sa Lyceum and dun sa ibang university, they are tapping me to teach in electrical and electronics. I'm handling the feedback control system, yung robotics, mechatronics, tsaka yung control system engineering, tsaka some industrial engineering, yung mga yun nga, yung mga statistics, yung mga methods, design of experiments, Taguchi methods, yung mga mathematics and mga productivity subjects ng industrial engineering. Sige po.
Okay, sir. So, bali po, lahat po yan is this semester niyo po hinahandle?
Hindi, ngayon po kasi sa sa UE, may 5 po akong subject, tsaka po sa Lyceum, isa lang naman.
Okay, sir. So, bali 6 preparations po kayo total. Tama, 6 preparations.
Bali 6. Yun.
Okay, so ano ko lang po, sir, kasi I'm trying to see kung ano po yung subjects na may commonality sa preparations yun na po. If ever na dito po kayo mag-handle para hindi po kayo masyadong mahirapan with the preparations.
Okay.
Okay, sir. Thank you po.
Okay, perhaps ako na huli. Once again, good afternoon, Mr. Engineer Inaw.
Good afternoon po, sir.
Medyo sa dami na nagtatanong sa iyo, no, seemingly parang pagod ka na rin sumagot. Anyway, you are again working with this different institution, ano. So I think how will you manage if you're given, I don't know kung mako-compromise pa ba namin yung number of teaching load, but I think the teaching load that is available is 26 units. I don't know how can you manage to get 26 units of teaching load while you are with other institution. Hindi ko alam kung mako-compromise pa to padating sa number of teaching load kasi actually what we need is a full-time, is a part-time with full load, no? Part-time type of employment, pero yung load niya, yung teaching load niya is full-time.
Full-time. Opo. Siguro ang bago ko masagot po yan, Sir Romeo, is yung tanong ko po, kailan po mag-start yung ating semester po sa Bulso?
Actually, ang mga estudyante nag-aantay na sa mga kanilang mga professors ngayong panahon na to. We started our second semester a couple of weeks ago.
Okay. Yeah, kasi I'm a bit kasi sa mga private iba kasi sa kanila kanya-kanya silang yung schedule, kaya sa kami second semester na po pero tapos na yung prelim, magmi-midterm na kami. So ibig sabihin kaya tinanong ko po kasi dahil nakapasok na yung sa UE, magmi-midterm na kami tapos another month is final. So ibig sabihin hindi ko na siya ma-decline. Yun ang point ko po. For example, kung binigyan niyo ako, I cannot decline na yung hawak ko kasi nakakahiya naman dun sa UE. Ang point ko po, kung sabay lang yan, kaya ko siyang hindi tanggapin to really prioritize yung bull. So ngayon kasi po, may hawak ako bali na 5 subjects sa UE. I think to understand my schedule, I can forward to you my schedule and to Miss Ampara or whoever needs it na para doon
But
natin
the reason, the reason
mapapili.
the reason I'm asking that, I'm not sure kung mako-compromise pa namin yung time, considering that we need,
Ano po bang concern nyo sa 20 plus units?
Come again?
Because when I was in FEU, ganun din po yung ganun yung nila, you are part-time pero bibigyan ka ng full-time na I think mga 25 or 24 units ang binigay sa akin doon po. Pero during that time, wala naman po mayroon ako sa Columban. May hinahawakan ako sa Olongapo na college sa sa electrical at ECE, isang subject lang. Ang point ko is kung kaya ko naman pong mag full-time o part-time na instructor pero full-time yung load, kaya lang yun nga po dahil nakakasana tong sa UE, I think the best way to resolve the issue is I can forward yung schedule, and then if ever lang na kung ma-hire po ako, doon natin po ipapopulate yung mga time na vacant kung uubra po. Parang ganoon ang nakikita kong
Okay. But of course, it's the management can decide on that. Dean Max can make a kung talagang ganoon ang situation. But of course, for now, ito kasi ito ang need namin ngayon for part-time with the full load. Anyway, we will inform you, Engineer Inaw, on the update of your application. By, of course, to be informed to you by our HR team. So, okay, thank you very much, Engineer Inaw.
Ay, thank you po.
Jocelyn.
Apo. Good afternoon po, Sir Inaw. Pasuyin na lang po. Balik na lang po ulit tayo dun sa ating application room po for demo teaching po.
Sige.
Thank you po, sir.
Thank you po. Thank you po sa lahat ng mga
Thank you, Engineer Inaw.
Good afternoon. Thank you po.
Sayang huli na kami pumasok sa buhay mo. Parang ganun ba yun?
Okay lang po. Sige po.
Okay. Sige, thank you.
Mag-leave na po ako. Salamat. So, good afternoon. Our topic for today is about vapor compression cycle, the pH and TS diagram construction. So, as you can see, this is the pH diagram. If you are an engineer, you should have this skill of reading and interpreting this complicated diagram. But what we're going to do this afternoon is to really simplify the diagram. So, as I start, the pH diagram is a very efficient or very good tool for a refrigeration and air conditioning engineer, part of the mechanical engineering. If you can read the pH diagram, you will be able to see what is happening in the fluid or the refrigerant, the working fluid in the refrigeration system, and also the different equipment or parts in the refrigeration and air conditioning system. So let me start and allow me to use I have here the digital pad. No, so the vertical meaning this one, this one. So this straight line is the P, which stands for pressure, and the horizontal is the H, which is enthalpy. So that is why it is called pH. Now let us go to the parts of the pH diagram. Now, so you can see here the dome-like or curved line. Now, so this one, So these are the values of the refrigerant. For example, a certain refrigerant, you can see the value in terms of pressure, enthalpy, temperature, internal the volume, and so on.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Hello. Hello. Is it okay po to continue? Hello.
Yes po, sir. Yes po.
Okay.
Continue
sorry.
lang po.
Okay. Sorry kasi kala ko may Oh yeah. So here, the first half of the dome, from here to here is called the saturated liquid line. No? Saturated liquid line. Okay. And the other half is the saturated vapor line. Saturated vapor line. So what do we mean by saturated? So it's a purely liquid here on the left side, and here is purely vapor or gas. As you can see here, the highest point. No, there's a highest point is the critical point here. Now there's a critical point. So what is the significance of this? So here the refrigerant is in the liquid state, and here is in vapor state. What about in the middle? So the refrigerant here is kind of mixture, meaning it's a mixture of liquid and vapor. So that's the essence of the pH diagram. So when you go to the table, because this chart and the table complement each other, so the subscript that you can see here on the left side are more of F. Now, example, the volume of fluid, the entropy of fluid, then the enthalpy of fluid. Here, it is G, or gaseous. So here, it's the volume of the gas, then enthalpy of the gas, entropy of the gas. And you can see the values, because the values you can see from the given temperature and pressure. Normally, you will be given the temperature and the pressure. So here, you can translate the refrigeration system, the vapor compression system, in the so-called pH diagram. So if I continue this with the drawing, here is the evaporator, here is the condenser. Okay? Because in the refrigeration system, there are four major parts: evaporator, then here is the compressor, right? Compressor. And then here is the expansion valve. And let me expound on that on the following diagram for more clarity. So here is the vapor compression cycle. It is the mostly known or mostly known cycle in terms of refrigeration and air conditioning. What do we mean by that? You can understand the refrigeration, air conditioning, what's happening in the chiller, what's happening in the cooler, if you know this vapor compression cycle. It is called vapor compression cycle simply because it is compressing the vapor in the compressor so that it can go to the condenser so that heat will be rejected, and then expansion valve where pressure is lower down, and then evaporator so that it can produce the vapor while absorbing heat. So heat absorbed, heat rejected, and then after it becomes a gas, it will be compressed again. So the cycle of the
Excuse me po, sir.
refrigerant. Okay,
Okay po.
okay na po.
Sir, okay na po.
Ah, sige.